I'm Charles. We've done a self-build project in Berkshire and installed Halcyan as part of our infrastructure. We're a family of four, two adults and two children aged 15 and 11, and we live in the Thames water area, so we've got hard water. One of the main reasons for considering Halcyan was that both my daughter and I have dry skin conditions, and we were looking for a solution that didn't involve a saltwater softener. The project involved knocking down an existing 1960s bungalow and then building what we built as a three-storey house. It's a large family house on a nice rural plot, and we were keen to make it as eco as possible, but not necessarily for eco sense. It had to make financial sense as well whilst we were doing the project. We're not afraid to do things a little bit differently, my wife and I, and therefore we were always looking for different products that we could use and ones that maybe weren't mainstream when we were researching the project. So we did the research part of the project during the early COVID years, and luckily for us, everyone was doing online webinars, which meant that I could get a lot of information and do a lot of research without actually leaving my desk. And I did a lot of webinars. I went on a lot of webinars with the Self-Build Centre in Swindon, the National Self-Build and Renovation Centre, and that's such a tremendous resource for everyone doing a self-build project. I would thoroughly recommend going there and seeing what's on offer and attending the courses. And it was at one of those webinars where I saw Sam from Halcyan introducing the Halcyan Water Conditioner, and I was very keen to find out more, and I did further research on whether that might be the right answer for us. When considering whether to install the Halcyan or go with the perhaps safer option of the saltwater softener, I did speak to Halcyan, and as our main concern was about the softness of the water for our skin, I wanted to get some reassurances that would work. And Halcyan believed that it does work, but the science doesn't necessarily let them say as much. And so I took a punt effectively and installed the Halcyan. I did install some other pipe work in the build to allow for a saltwater softener should we need it at a later date. But I can happily say that we absolutely haven't, having lived in the house now for 2 years. And I'll show you that pipe work when we go downstairs to the plant room shortly. So we're now down in the plant room and wanted to show exactly where the Halcyan's installed. So this is the blue pipe is the main pipe coming into the house, cold water in, and here is the Halcyan unit just the other side of the stop tap. As I described earlier, we have put in some provisional pipe work should we ever need a saltwater softener, and that was this bit down here, but as you can see, nothing is there and we have no intention of putting it in, don't need it. On the other side here is relevance to the water is our great mixergy tank, which is also a product that's promoted by the Self-Build Centre. It's a brilliant smart tank. It just heats the amount of water that you're going to need at any point during the day. And this unit here is a great example of that. So at the moment it's showing that only 20% of the tank is heated. And because we're now in the summer, I've set the tank to heat up full at 1 o'clock each day in the afternoon, so it uses the solar power that we're creating from the solar panels on the roof of the house. So pretty much all of our water is currently heated by the free solar power. Living in this area with the Thames water, hard water, we've always struggled a little bit with the use of a saltwater softener, because although it softens the water, doesn't feel brilliant on the skin. And so we were looking for a different solution, and I'm really pleased to say that the Halcyan has produced what we wanted it to. My daughter's skin in particular is far better now. and we don't have that rather nasty slimy feel of the water that you get with a saltwater softener. So yeah, but one of the simplest but best gadgets that we've installed into the house for sure. The other obviously brilliant practical side of using a Halcyan rather than a saltwater softener is that we're not putting lots of salt tablets into the water and down the drains, and the practical element of not having to buy and lug the salt bags around and install them into the machine. So thumbs up from me for that as well. On a practical level, we do get an element of limescale dust in the sinks and showers and that type of thing, but it's very easy to wipe off, and we're certainly not getting any clogged limescale on the system, and we've had it installed for nearly 2 years now. It's really a install and forget type of device. It just sits there, and other than when I go to the plant room to check on various things, I don't ever see it and don't need to touch it. So that has a huge advantage as well over a normal salt softener. I'm very passionate about the self-build sector and really keen to help others facilitate their dreams in the way that we've been able to. And because of that, having spent 3.5 years of my life project managing our own project, I've set up a consultancy business to help others facilitate their projects. So either helping them on a mentoring basis or on a full project management basis.